The average age of the group having 3 members is 84. One more person joins the group and now the average becomes 80. Now a fifth person comes whose age is 3 years more than that of the fourth person, replaces the first person. After that, the average age of the group becomes 79. What is the age of the first person? Okay, so the question is telling me that there is a group of 3 members. So let's call them x1, x2 and x3, and their average age is 84. So I can say that x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3 is equals to 84, right? This is how you calculate the average. One more person joins the group and now the average becomes 80. So let's call this fourth person x4, and this fourth person joins the group and the average becomes 80. So I can say that x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 divided by 4 is equals to 80, right? Now a fifth person comes whose age is 3 years more than that of the fourth person. Now let's call this fifth person x5, and x5 here is 3 years more than that of the fourth person. So his age is 3 years more than that of the fourth person, which is x4. Now we have got the relationship between x5 and x4. Now this fifth person replaces the first person. So that means this x5 replaces this x1. After that, the average age of the group becomes 79. So now I can say that after x5 replacing x1, we get x5 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 divided by 4 is equals to, this average becomes 79. Okay, but we know that x5 is equals to x4 plus 3. So I'll just write it here, x4 plus 3. All right, this much is clear. What is the age of the first person? So we have to find out what is the value of x1. All right, now from this equation I see that x2 plus x3 plus x4, the value of x2 plus x3 plus x4 can be calculated from this equation 2. Okay, so let's do that. We get x2 plus x3 plus x4 is equals to, this 4 will go on the right hand side and get multiplied with 80. So we get 80 into 4, and this x1 will go on the right hand side and get subtracted, minus x1. So we are left with x2 plus x3 plus x4 is equals to 80 into 4 minus x1. So let's substitute this in here. So we get x4 plus 3 plus, instead of x2 plus x3 plus x4, I'll write this, which is 80 into 4. 80 into 4 is 320. 320 minus x1, and rest is as it is, which is divided by 4 is equals to 79. Now this 4 goes on the right hand side and get multiplied with 79. So it is 79 into 4. Now we are left with x4 minus x1 is equals to 79 into 4 is, I have already calculated this value. This comes out to be 316, and minus 320 plus 3 is 323 minus 323. Okay, so we are left with x4 minus x1, which is equals to minus 7. Okay, this much is clear. Now pay attention to the equation 1 and equation 2. Okay, here x1, x2 and x3 is common, right? x1 plus x2 plus x3 is common. So when we solve both the equations, we will be able to calculate the value of x4. So let's do that. So we have here x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equals to, this 3 will go on the right hand side and get multiplied, which is 84 into 3. So we are left with x1 plus x2 plus x3, which is equals to 84 into 3 will be 252. Okay, now let's put this value 252 in here. So we get 252 plus x4 is equals to, this 4 will go on the right hand side and get multiplied with 80, and 80 into 4 is 320. So we are left with x4, which is equals to 320 minus 252, which is equals to 78. All right, sorry, 68. Yeah. So we'll substitute the value of x4 in here. So we get x1 will go on the right hand side. So x1, which is equals to 68 plus 7, which is equals to 75. Okay, and this is our required answer. So x1 is equals to 75. So here option A is the correct one.